everyone, this is Mila and Dante back with What's With This Guy. Oh, did you guys see that? He just did a quadruple backflip as he entered the screen.
Yeah, that's what's up. I'm here too. Last time we talked about, it was Ben Shapiro, right?
Yeah, and the Ben Shapiro Show. Is that what it's called?
I don't even know at this point. It's too much.
Too much.
Too much. Okay, so I think we're going to be starting off at looking at another Ben this time.
Another Ben? 2 Bens in a row?
Yeah, we've got Ben Davidson today.
Ben Davidson. He's hoarding all the first names.
I mean, at that point, yeah. He owns and runs this weird YouTube channel called SpaceWeatherNews. It's been going on for about 13 years at this point. It's something to say the least.
Well, that's what we usually cover on this podcast.
Yeah, so I think the first thing to do is get some general stuff out of the way first. Like, what's going on with this guy?
It's the name of our podcast, after all.
What's with this guy? Anyways, as I was saying, he's running this channel, and I think it might be a cult.
Hang on, a cult?
Yeah, he thinks of all these weird things about the sun. Sun causes earthquakes, sun causes autism. Seems like the sun's gonna cause everything, but I'm specifically calling it a cult. He keeps saying the world's gonna end in, like, the 2030s.
Yeah, that's average doomsday cult behavior.
Yeah. So I was gonna say, some people, like in previous episodes, we've given leeway to them. Being like, oh, what if their thing is correct? Sorry. So sorry about that noise. That's Obama. Apparently he's running a bit late, but hopefully we'll see him soon.
Yeah, Obama's a reoccurring guest on our show, as I'm sure all of you who are reoccurring have seen before. But for those of you viewing us for the first time, he's a reoccurring guest on our show and close personal friend of Dante.
Yes, personally. Yeah, so we're not giving him leeway of what if he's correct.
Yeah.
Because I am 100%.
Obama's a double texter. Hang on, guys.
Okay, so I'm 100% positive here that this guy is wrong.
100%.
As close as you can get. You know, you can never be 100%. But again, this guy's not right.
Not at all.
This time's gonna be different because we're not considering the possibilities. A bit of spoilers here, though. He keeps saying the sun's gonna micronova in the 2030s.
Micronova. I thought that was like a white dwarf star thing.
Yeah, it is, at least according to Dr. Scaringi and several other astrophysicists. And last I checked, the sun is not a white dwarf, so it can't micronova. At all.
Not at all.
Self-contradictory already, and making him, like, logically invalid.
Of course.
He's talking about, oh, you can never trust NASA, but he's still using them to support his own claims.
That's pretty normal for internet doomsday cults. QAnon does that stuff as well. We covered them a few weeks ago.
Yeah, he thinks the sun's gonna go cause the end of the world. Not by, like, heat, though. He thinks the Earth's gonna super flood when the micronova happens.
Like, suddenly happen, or the sea level's gonna start to rise more?
Like, no, he says it's gonna happen spontaneously. Problem is, it's not spontaneous.
What do you mean by that?
Ben's saying that the pole shift is gonna cause will allow oxygen to escape into space, and that a bunch of hydrogen from a coronal mass ejection will react with the oxygen to produce an insurmountable amount of water, which he says will drown the Earth.
He says that the Earth will spontaneously create more water during this event?
Yes, but the reaction is not spontaneous to the point that the delta G for that reaction is positive 26,000 kilojoules per mole. I calculated myself using the scientific journals that he cited himself, actually.
Really?
Yeah. One was by Yang Wei and 10 others explained that the escape of oxygen ions during the pole shift, and the other by Pagano and 2 others explained the physical chemistry behind coronal mass ejections.
And that's, like, super not spontaneous. And speaking of these scientific journals, I remember us talking beforehand about Ben publishing his own papers. Is this guy even a scientist, considering some of the beliefs he has?
Would you believe me if I told you that he's a lawyer by trade? He went to law school.
A lawyer. Is he even a practicing lawyer, or is he just doing the doomsday cult now?
I'm pretty sure now he's just doing this doomsday cult, but I think he practiced for a year.
I think that's an absolute waste of a degree. But anyway, I think that's enough background on our weird guy for the day. Care to share our main hypothesis?
Yeah, sure. So the main hypothesis we're looking at here is SpaceWeatherNews is a doomsday cult which uses scientific journals to spread the idea of omnicide by magnetic pole shift, with Ben Davidson acting as a knowing cult leader.
just real quick, omnicide just means killing everything, right?
Exactly. Everything's dead.
Okay, got it. And what definition of cult are we using here? The same one we used before?
Yeah, we're using the same one before. So for new reviewers, we're using the definition by Dana Logan.
That's in Religion and American Culture, right?
Yes. So I will read that out to you now. A cult is a large group of people in which those in charge use manipulative tactics, physical, emotional, or mental damage to lure or keep people trapped in, and participation in the group causes its members to feel isolated from the rest of society, as members are encouraged to only interact with other members.
Interesting. And this guy's doing stuff like that? He's actually doing cult behavior?
I mean, all the people in his comments seem to be commenting the same thing, and he keeps to be spreading fear and making them you can't trust NASA. So that's already meeting the requirement of you can't trust other people. You can only trust people inside. And he seems to be really emotionally manipulating these people, being like, he sounds completely monotone, and they're like, oh, he's so sad. Oh, this is the first time this is the saddest I've ever heard him. And he's talking, hi guys, it's me. Today we're talking about that's what he sounds like.
You're sure these people are real and not bots? Because a lot of these cult-like channels just have bot comments instead.
That's the interesting part. All these channels that are commenting, I've looked at a bunch of them. They're like 11 or 13 years old, and they post videos.
They post videos?
Yeah, and there's people in them that are real people.
Huh.
So,
and these comments, they're not like bot comments, not the usual like, love it, heart emoji.
No.
Like, they're comments. I remember seeing that in some of the comments, they had their like location on the globe in their comments. What's going on with that?
Apparently, I'm saying that's possibly something associated, like, I'm looking at a video, most likely said, oh, please, as like a part of a study or something that he's doing, or just at like a way to build community. Say what temperature it is, your current weather situation, and where you physically are.
So these people would have to be long-time viewers then?
I would assume so.
And you said this guy's been going on for 13 years?
13 years.
How many videos does this guy have?
I think around 4,000, over 4,000.
So he's been posting like almost every day then?
No, he does every single day.
For 13 years?
Mm-hmm.
That is incredible. And he's been peddling pole shift this entire time? That's just when North and magnetic South swap, isn't it?
Exactly.
And he thinks that's going to cause the death of everything on the planet?
Yeah, it's weird considering it's happened before and that didn't happen.
Yeah, especially we still have birds and salmon and sharks and everything else that uses magnetics to find their way around the globe.
I'm not the preacher. I don't know what you're talking about.
I think overall that's a pretty good hypothesis for this guy, but we do have some other hypotheses to share.
Okay.
The following could be a cult. It definitely seems like it is, but Ben Davidson himself might not know that it's a cult. Oh wait, hang on guys. We have somebody at our door. Oh,
hi, Bob. Obama, you're
Obama,
here.
you're here. You made it. Oh, wait. He's saying he can't talk. He's like motioning at his throat. He can't say anything.
Oh, hold on, wait. Here's a whiteboard. Oh, his throat hurts. Okay. So he's just gonna sit in and listen.
He's just listening in. Anyway.
Sorry, audio listeners.
You can't see him.
You can't see
it's
him.
Just a shame.
Going back to our second hypothesis,
it would be unlikely that Ben Davidson doesn't know it's a cult if it is one.
He's like using religious terminology. He's promoting something he calls solar kill shot.
Solar kill shot.
Yeah, it's like a survivalist social media web, which you have to pay for, which brings you together with people. And the survival expectation is the sun exploding.
So he is bringing people together in a community and saying that they should only interact with people in that community, like our definition of cult said before.
Exactly.
And with that, using religious terms, using terms like central dogma and apocalypse are in themselves cult terms. It's unlikely that he doesn't know he's running a cult if everything he's doing points to it being a cult.
We should also mention, besides that, he's interacted with his fans, even going so far to drive across the United States in a bus with them for, I believe it was around 3 years, I think,
3 years?
At a minimum, I believe.
With his fans in a bus.
There's no way that they wouldn't have said anything.
No, and especially considering the fact that he's promoting these survivalist things and also promoting gold and silver.
Oh yeah, he's sponsored by Big Gold and Big Silver.
Nothing like our sponsorship for this video.
Yeah. But you'll find out about that later. So, we went into the next hypothesis. That is that this is just a completely normal YouTube channel. And it's not a cult at all.
That's almost impossible.
Yeah.
Considering the fact that everything he uses is literally religious language. And the world's gonna end in 2030.
Mm-hmm. He keeps all these prophesized events. He keeps releasing these hour-long videos sometimes.
Yeah?
And it's just, like, the most insane thing. Because it's just, like, everything he believes in. Like, one of them was, like, CIA debunked or something.
So he's posting content that it's unlikely at this point, for 13 years he'd keep posting this content if he didn't believe in the doomsday event that he's supposedly predicting.
Yeah. That would
so
make
it's
sense.
very unlikely that it's not a cult. And that even includes his fans in this hypothesis. It's unlikely that his fans aren't a cult either, considering how they interact with him.
So then the next one's actually a bit more likely. That Ben's running his channel like a cult, but he doesn't actually believe in what he's saying. He's just trying to make a profit.
Yeah, that's pretty common for cult leaders, is to just not actually believe a word they're saying and simply try to make money off the people who believe them so valiantly.
Yeah. He also owns 70 acres of land in Colorado, and you have to pay to sleep on it.
70 acres?
Mm-hmm.
And this guy's also not just selling spots on his land, he's selling books and journals. He's got super chats turned on YouTube. It's not like he's not making money off of this.
No, he fully is making money off of this. This is his job, so I get having some amount of money made, but, like, this is stepping it up a bit.
Yeah, I mean, he's also taking sponsorships. So he's making a lot of money from this. And with how monotone his voice is, he might not even be enjoying what he's making. He might not even believe what he's making at this point.
Exactly. There's one that he's not actually a cult, but it's just a part of a very vocal member of the Electric Universe. But he has verbatim himself said that he's not a part of Electric Universe. So we're just gonna skip that one, as he more recently said he was a member of it, and he disowns them. So we'll just skip that. That was
one of our theories in the past, but we've seen now that he's blatantly against Electric Universe.
So now, do you want to handle this? This is a fun one, folks. This is a fun one.
We're getting into our two fun ones, our wacky ones for the podcast. Ben Davidson is an AI created by aliens to lead people to distrust science so that humans can be easily enslaved by the ethereal beasts.
Of course. But this one got some fun evidence for it. He uploads every single day. He sounds pretty monotone. Only problem is that he has an ex-wife,
a current
wife, and also 3 biological children.
And at that point, if you have 3 biological children and are an AI created by aliens, all they really did was create another guy.
I mean, yeah, but again, if he's a robot, though, I mean, he was on the bus for, like, that long time. His fans would have had to notice him charging. Well,
he really seems to like the sun. So maybe he's solar-powered.
Okay, alright, so now leading with the sense of jokes. Ben Davidson's been running his channel as a joke for the past 13 years, just to be covered on our podcast.
Well, that would be an absolutely insane turn of events. Our podcast is only about a year old, and he's been uploading for 13 years.
Yeah, we were like 5 or 7, I think.
Yeah, this one is absolutely impossible, except for one key factor?
Yeah. So I was attempting to interview one specific physics professor that had been focusing in on plasma cosmology and studying plasma physics. Only problem is, the moment I started researching for this, he disappeared.
He's just not able to be contacted on our campus anymore.
I emailed him and I haven't got a response, and his office hours aren't posted, and his lights are always off and his door's always locked.
We guess Ben Davidson might have
snuffed him out.
Got him.
Okay, well, that's a bit worrying, but we're going to get onto the search method. So, the search method, we're using the one developed by Theodore Schick and Louis Vaughn, who are both professors of philosophy.
Yep. And while we don't have much fruitfulness for the search method, the only one of our hypotheses that did have one was our 7th hypothesis,
Mm-hmm.
in which it would explain the phenomenon as to why the physics professor is suddenly missing.
I know, that. But again, fruitfulness isn't everything. That's just
No.
an extra cherry on top. We also have to look at the testability in all of these, and all of them are about, okay, you observe him, or you ask him a
Just
question.
look at him and speak to him.
Yeah,
That's
so,
pretty easy
So
to
those
do.
are all equal on that front. But let's get into scope now.
As for our first hypothesis, it has a very large scope. It explains a lot about how he behaves, and explains his religious talk, and all of the followers' behaviors when it comes to doomsday.
Exactly. For number 2, the scope is not that. It's very, very unlikely to happen. I don't think he believes in it.
Yeah, it's not likely that he doesn't know that he's running some sort of cult. It's very unlikely. Similarly, the third one is also unlikely, considering
much
more unlikely, considering the fact that both of them would now have to realize by now that it's some kind of cult.
Yeah. 4, though, is interesting, because it has the same explanation power as 1, but it also explains all of the things that he's selling, and why it's so expensive to go sleep on his ranch when you have your own RV.
Literally.
Yeah.
Like, it explains so much about the way he behaves when it comes to finances. And the 5th one explains his involvement beforehand with EUT, the electric universe theory, but we're not really using that hypothesis much anymore.
Okay.
Similarly, the 6th one explains how he's getting all of his data and uploading so consistently. The scope on that one is fairly large for how silly it is.
Yeah, but I don't even know. I don't know where he cites his things, but sometimes it's just like, you know where I'm getting this information from. No, I don't.
No, we really don't, Ben Davidson.
And I guess we could say for the 7th one, it could technically explain when I found the channel, because I was like, oh, we got a new person. I found them. Perfect.
And also could explain where the physics professor went.
Exactly.
As for simplicity, 1 and 4 are definitely the most simple of all of our hypotheses.
Yeah.
All they would really need to assume is that our definition of cult is correct.
For the 4th one, we'd also have to say that Ben doesn't believe in what he's saying.
Exactly. The second one, though, has much less in its simplicity. You'd have to assume that the members of his cult are hiding their behavior from him, and he's not recognizing the behaviors that are directly in his comment section, and that he also isn't knowingly using the religious terms. Similarly with 3, you can't really make many assumptions about that.
Yeah, because it's like that's like the null hypothesis.
It's just normal.
Yeah. So, this is a normal thing, okay. For 5, again...
Kind of skipping over that one.
But again, you'd have to assume that he's not lying about not agreeing with them.
Yeah, you'd have to assume that he's for some reason now hiding his correlation with electric universe
but
theory.
I don't think that's the case. He's very vocal about his beliefs.
Yes. With 6, you would have to assume that not only aliens exist and want Earth, but they're capable of making AI advanced enough to perfectly mimic humans, have biological children, and somehow cannot invade Earth if we believe in science.
Yeah, that one's a bit off the rails, and we don't got it. that one's kicked the bucket already.
Yeah, and so has 7, because then every single other person on the planet would have to be in on the joke besides us.
Including Obama here.
Yeah.
Alright.
I was about to ask him what he had to say about that, but he can't really talk right now.
Yeah, I know. So for conservatism, don't worry, Obama, it's okay. So for that, so Ben does use science. Only problem is he says that it's not trustworthy. Like, he's citing NASA and then saying, don't trust NASA. They changed all their formulas and data.
So he's quite literally conflicting with himself.
Yeah. So...
The second one conflicts with literally every piece of evidence we've gathered. The third one is similar in that case, conflicts with almost every piece of evidence about Ben that we've gathered.
Especially the talk about death in the comments. That's very concerning.
And the super flood.
That's
not normal YouTube channel behavior.
No.
The fourth one, he didn't start with that many views or incentive for profit, and he really only gained an incentive later on, which kind of conflicts with how long he's been doing this for.
Yeah, but I mean, I will say that at the beginning, he did seem genuinely interested. Like, you could hear emotion in his voice with his infamous line, "Why did NASA do this?"
We were happy to see a healthy amount of, well, why would NASA do this? Didn't they say this thing was small and insignificant?
So, again, with 5, again, that's brushing up past that one. It just he disagrees with a lot of terms used in plasma cosmology, and he's openly stating that he's not in it, so we can automatically disregard that one.
Of course. With 6, it goes against the idea we have that, well, not exactly that we have quite yet, but the theory that aliens do not exist.
We've not found them yet, at least.
We haven't found them yet. That AI is that intelligent already, that aliens can get to Earth, and that somehow the AI they create can have biological children.
That sounds horrifying.
That's terrifying.
So then, I have to say for 7, that goes against all of what everyone knows against human nature.
Yeah, I mean, nobody's gonna keep a secret for that long unless this is like the entire point of the Earth.
Yeah, unless if this is the Truman Show or something.
Yeah, the Milo Dante show.
Exactly. So I guess we're gonna rank our hypotheses. We'll start with the worst one, and then we'll work our way up.
The worst one is easily the 6th one. It has the most evidence against it. Somehow more than our 7th one, which is the second worst.
Yeah, that is interesting, but I guess it's more normal to say it's a big joke as opposed to aliens and robots.
Uh-huh. And then the third one is also quite bad because it goes against everything we have evidence for.
Exactly. Same thing with 2. So I think 2 and 3 are a bit tied.
Yes.
But 2 has a slight edge because the YouTube commenters act as a cult.
Mm-hmm. Even though we're kind of ignoring 5,
Yeah.
it has more basis than all of the other ones.
Disregarding Ben's claim that he is not a part of the Electric Universe, 5 is relatively up there.
And then we have 4, because it would make a lot of sense considering how monotone he is nowadays and how much he's selling.
Yes.
And then, of course, our first hypothesis, as per usual, is our best one.
Exactly. And I will say that the reason we put 1 over 4 is because Ben definitely believes in what he's saying.
Of course. He's been doing this for far too long and is not making enough money for it to be...
Exactly. Well, I mean, he's trying to ramp up money, but he fully believes in what he's saying.
Of course.
He's doing this unprompted on an Easter stream.
And, on the topic of profit, we've got our sponsor for today.
La 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 la.
Hello there, child.
What the hell? Who are you?
Hi, I'm here. Are your assets properly saved?
My assets? Like my cash?
Exactly. Those are at risk in the apocalypse.
In the apocalypse? What the hell are you talking about?
You should turn your money into frozen uranium.
Frozen uranium?
Exactly. Frozen uranium lasts forever. And additionally, it has a good market value.
I guess that means it wouldn't burn like money if a nuke was dropped on it. I guess it
No,
would only
it
get
would
more powerful.
explode. It would explode in interest.
Wow, that's crazy. I didn't know it could do that.
Just don't eat it or lick it. That's how you get the burns.
I was licking my money beforehand. I didn't